There's a lot of financial advice out there right now that's floating around, some of it good, some of it bad. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over some of the common financial things that I've heard over the past year or so, and what my thoughts are on each one of those. The very first one is that you have to have a financial advisor. Now, I'm going to put a disclaimer on this because I don't want a bunch of people running to the comment section talking about, well, Clarence said we don't need a financial advisor. I'm not saying that, but all financial advisors are not created equal. And what I mean by that is you have some financial advisors that not only help you to build your portfolios, but they also help you to understand the why of how you're building out your portfolio, if that makes sense. So for example, I have a colleague of mine. I've known her for almost 20 years. She has a substantial portfolio, over $2 million. And she reached out to me the other day and she had asked me just some financial advice because she knows that I'm really active in this space. And she told me that she has a financial advisor and her advisor charges her 1% to manage her portfolio. And she wanted to know if that was good. Absolutely not. That 1% is costing her so much money. And most people hear 1%, they don't think it's that much. But let's take a little bit of a deeper look at that. So if you have a $2 million portfolio, you have a financial advisor that's charging you 1%. Over the course of that 1 year, it costs $20,000 for that advisor to manage your portfolio. That is a lot of money. Now let's take it a step further. Let's say you had a $2 million portfolio. It went up by $100,000 over the course of a year. The following year, it would now cost $21,000 for that advisor to manage your portfolio. So you made $100,000 in your portfolio, but $21,000 of it is going to your advisor. So imagine that happening year after year after year for 15, 20, 30 years. You'll see how much money you could be throwing away just because you're depending on an advisor that has a large fee of 1%. Again, I am not saying that you should not work with a financial advisor because you absolutely should, but you should be working with advisors that, number one, are willing to teach you the why behind why you're building out your portfolio in a particular way. And then you also should be asking them, what is the overall fee that they're charging to manage your portfolio? Because selecting the wrong advisor that's not able to teach you about your portfolio and they're charging you a large fee to manage your portfolio, it can cost you over the long run. The second thing that I heard a lot about, and this was really going on during the COVID timeframe, was debt consolidation and credit repair. I remember seeing these all over social media. People were running ads on their social media business pages on credit repair. We help people get good credit. And I laughed a little bit when I saw that because I think they're a scam. I think credit repair companies and credit repair specialists prey on people that don't have a lot of financial education. And to me, that's very irritating. You sign up with these firms, they charge you an egregious amount of fees for them to help you to get yourself out of debt and repair your credit. But here's why these are such a scam. I'm paying you to help me to pay off a debt that I don't have the money to pay right now. So I'm just putting myself in further debt, which is crazy. And secondly, you can do everything that they're doing on your own. For example, you could reach out to your creditors, your credit card companies, negotiate settlements and payoffs for overdue credit card bills, hospital bills, you name it, they will negotiate. And by doing so, you can do all of this repair stuff on your own. You don't need their help to get yourself to a position to get out of debt. The next thing that I've heard a lot over the past year or so is that credit scores are not important. To me, that couldn't be further from the truth. I don't agree with that. Because if you have a credit score that's 650 or below, or even below 700, you're gonna be paying more to get loans for things that we need. Imagine to go buy a house or a car and your credit score is right there, borderline, you're gonna be paying much more in interest than someone that has a 750 plus credit score. I know people that have car loans with almost 20% interest on them. I can't imagine buying a car and having an interest rate that's 15+%. To me, that's crazy. So don't ever let anyone convince you that credit scores aren't important. And we just talked about being able to kind of go out on your own. You don't need a credit repair company. You can do it on your own, because although credit scores are important and it's difficult to get yourself out of debt sometimes, it's really not that hard to increase your credit score. You can increase your credit score by over 100 points in 6 months or less. The next myth that we're going to talk about is that all you have to do is work hard, climb the corporate ladder, and try to make as much money as you can, and you'll be rewarded by doing so. Partially true, right? I believe in trying to work and becoming a better version of yourself and climbing that corporate ladder if that's what you want to do. But one of the things that I've learned, and I learned this a little bit later, guys, because everything that I've learned about finances and things of that nature, I've learned through trial and error. I didn't have anybody there that could coach or teach me. But relying solely on your W-2 income is a major potential liability for you in the future. I've talked a lot on this channel over the past few months about how companies are laying people off left and right. And whenever you decide to put all of your eggs in one basket and essentially just depend on one single income that could be taken away from you in an instant, that leaves you completely vulnerable. Now, I'm a little bit different when I talk about side hustles and trying to earn more money outside of your W-2 than some other people. I don't believe that you have to be someone that earns an additional 6 figures every single year from a side hustle. I'm the person that believes that if you can make an extra $200, $300, $400, $500 a month and stack that, you're going to be putting yourself in a much better position than the person that is just solely relying on their W-2 income. All right, so that now brings us to the fifth thing that I've been seeing floating around social media really heavy over the last year. And it's one of the things that I disagree with the most. And that is that you invest, you save, and you can never spend any money on anything that you enjoy. You know, you should always make your coffee at home. You should never take trips. I mean, and to a certain extent, I think that's true. But I believe that you can't limit yourself for your entire life on the things that you enjoy. You work hard, you do the things that you're supposed to do, you invest in the market, you have an emergency fund, you have money set to the side to do the things that you want to do. I'm not going to be the guy on YouTube that's going to tell you to never go enjoy yourself. I'm going to be the guy that tells you, hey, set aside 5 or 10% of your monthly income and spend that on the things that make you happy. Now, the one caveat here is that I'm also going to be the guy that says do that after you get yourself out of debt. We're not talking about mortgage debt. I'm talking about consumer debt that you may have racked up and you don't remember what you spent that money on. If you're out of debt, you're doing the things that you're supposed to do, I believe that you should be setting aside money every single month to go do the things that make you happy, that keep you centered, that keep you balanced, and you can spend time that you can never get back with, especially with your family, doing the things that you like to do the most. Guys, you know I've been out here trying to get this exercise in and just get my thoughts off while I do it. And as I was walking today, I was just thinking about some of the financial advice that's out there that some people widely accept as being gospel that I just don't agree with. And if you don't agree with my takes on it, that's fine too. But these are some of the things that I was thinking about that I believe that keep people from being able to reach their full potential. So what do you guys think? What are some things that you would have added? What are some things that I mentioned that you don't agree with? Leave a comment down below and let me know.